7 types of WWE villains. Only one can destroy your childhood hero. Let's rank them. Level 1. Professional losers. These guys are wrestling's participation trophies. WWE hands them a microphone, tells them to be mean, and watches them die on live television. Damien Sandow called you stupid, then lost every match. If you're intellectually superior, why are you eating finishers every Monday night? Bo Dallas gave motivational speeches so boring that fans literally wanted him to shut up. Not boo him, mute him. Curtis Axel inherited his father's legendary name and turned it into a cure for insomnia. These heels generate what we call go-away heat. Good heat makes you lean forward. Go-away heat makes you reach for the remote. The cruel irony? They fail at their one job, being hated. Instead of hatred, they create something worse, complete indifference. They're professional wrestlers who somehow make wrestling less entertaining just by existing. But what happens when heels become too entertaining for their own good? Level 2. Comedy gold mines. These villains face an impossible task. Be funny enough to entertain, evil enough to get booed. Spoiler alert, they usually fail at the evil part. Santino Marella was supposed to be an arrogant foreign heel. Instead, his broken English and physical comedy made him more lovable than most actual good guys. Fans cheered every time he showed up because they knew something hilarious was about to happen. R-Truth's conspiracy theories turned his matches into appointment television. The problem? It was genuinely hilarious. You can't help but root for someone who thinks little Jimmy is plotting against him. The fashion police criticized everyone's outfits with such commitment that fans looked forward to their segments more than actual matches. They turned fashion criticism into performance art. Social media made this worse. Fans could openly celebrate these characters without feeling guilty about cheering for the villain. They succeeded completely as entertainers but failed entirely as traditional heels. But some heels find the perfect balance between entertaining and genuinely dislikable. Level 3. Mid-card masters. These are wrestling's middle management, not glamorous, but absolutely essential. They generate real heat while staying in their lane. The Miz perfected being a Hollywood pretty boy who thinks he's better than everyone else. He took his reality TV background and turned it into a wrestling character fans could easily hate. The genius? He made this work across multiple runs by constantly finding new ways to be obnoxious. Dolph Ziggler became every annoying coworker who brags about accomplishments, while whining about being underappreciated. He made this so believable that fans genuinely wanted to see him fail. Sheamus evolved from Celtic warrior to corporate bully, always finding new ways to be legitimately irritating without threatening the main event picture. These heels understand that consistency beats creativity. They find what makes people dislike them and lean into those traits for years. They become dependable sources of heat that creative teams can count on. But the next level requires heels who don't just maintain order. They threaten to destroy it. Level 4. Legitimate threats. These heels create real fear that the show might fundamentally change if they win. Their victories would alter the entire landscape. Kane made even main event faces look vulnerable just by existing in the same building. When that red light hit and his music played, you genuinely worried he might take over and ruin everything for the good guys. Kevin Owens brought legitimate tough guy credibility. His character felt like he could actually hurt people, not just beat them in scripted matches. When Owens threatened someone, fans believed he had the capability and willingness to follow through. Samoa Joe had quiet intensity that made every word sound like a genuine warning. He didn't need to shout because his presence alone communicated danger. The key difference: these wrestlers look and act like they could be genuinely dangerous even outside wrestling. They carry themselves with confidence that suggests real violence is always possible. But creating fear is only one way to generate lasting investment. The most sophisticated heels go beyond intimidation. Level 5. Psychological warfare. These legends create memorable villains through clear motivations and believable self-justifications. They have reasons. Triple H mastered the corporate villain during his Evolution era, using his actual backstage influence to generate heat that felt completely authentic. He made fans hate both his character success and his real-world authority. CM Punk turned legitimate grievances about the wrestling industry into compelling character work. He created ambiguity about where reality ended and storyline began, making fans never quite sure how much anger was scripted versus genuine. Eddie Guerrero made lying, cheating, and stealing into an art form. Next Level breaks those rules. Level 6. Corporate overlords. The most dangerous heels combine fictional storylines with actual backstage power, creating resentment that lives both on-screen and off. Vince McMahon perfected the boss heel during the Attitude Era by turning his real position as company owner into television content. He made fans hate his actual authority by using it against popular wrestlers. The genius? Fans suspected he might actually behave this way in real life. Stephanie McMahon generated heat by playing an entitled corporate executive, making decisions based on personal grudges. She used her real family connections to create a character that felt authentically privileged and out of touch. Paul Heyman built authority figure heat around being the smart guy who thought he was better than everyone. He would make booking decisions, favoring his preferred wrestlers, while dismissing fan favorites as unworthy. Corporate heels tap into real-world frustrations about unfair bosses and corrupt authority figures. When fans boo these characters, they're expressing anger about power structures they deal with in their own lives. But even corporate villains operate within established frameworks. Some heels transcend everything. Level 7. Nuclear heat legends. At the pinnacle are villains whose actions fundamentally changed wrestling culture and redefined what it means to be a bad guy. Hollywood Hulk Hogan's NWO turn didn't just shock wrestling fans. It kicked off the Monday Night Wars and completely rewrote sports entertainment rules. Before this moment, Hogan was the ultimate good guy representing American values. Kids who grew up believing in Hulkamania suddenly had to process their childhood hero becoming the enemy. The black and white NWO shirt became mainstream pop culture, worn by people who weren't even wrestling fans. This wasn't just another heel turn. It felt like genuine betrayal. Fans weren't booing a character making bad decisions wrestling companies still follow today. Every major heel turn since gets compared to Hogan joining the NWO. Nuclear heat doesn't just entertain. It fundamentally alters the wrestling landscape and changes how future storylines are constructed across the entire industry. But even nuclear heat pales in comparison to what was possible when fans believed everything was real. Bonus level. The original heat machine. Andre the Giant's heel turn represents something wrestling can never recreate. Authentic hatred from fans who believed everything was real. This was wrestling's kayfabe era when audiences had no idea matches were scripted. They thought they were watching legitimate athletic competition between real rivals. When Andre turned on Hulk Hogan, fans reacted with intense hostility that went far beyond normal wrestling heat. They threw objects, shouted genuine threats, and treated him like he'd committed an actual crime against America. The reactions were so intense because fans thought they were witnessing a real betrayal, not watching actors perform a predetermined storyline. Security concerns became genuinely serious because fans wanted to physically confront Andre for his betrayal. Wrestling promoters had to worry about actual violence from audience members who couldn't separate character from person. Andre's heel work represents the absolute ceiling. Modern fans know they're watching a performance, which fundamentally limits emotional responses any heel can create. Today's wrestling landscape. Understanding this hierarchy explains why some wrestlers become legends while others disappear completely. Modern audiences expect more nuance since they know they're watching a performance. Social media has destroyed traditional kayfabe. Wrestlers post behind-the-scenes content, breaking character constantly. Fans see their enemies hanging out together at airports and restaurants. Today's heels must work harder to generate authentic reactions. They need psychological complexity, believable motivations, and the ability to blur the line between character and reality. The most successful modern heels understand they're not just playing villains. They're creating content that needs to work across multiple platforms. A great heel moment needs to generate heat in the arena and go viral on social media. Roman Reigns' recent heel work succeeds because it acknowledges fan frustration with his previous character, while using his real position as company favorite to generate authentic resentment. The key lesson: make people care enough to hate you. Indifference is the only real failure in wrestling. So where do your favorite heels rank? The ultimate truth. Every level serves a purpose, but only the top tiers create lasting impact. Generic jobbers fill time, comedy heels entertain, mid-card menaces provide reliable television. But legends change everything. They understand that being a great heel isn't about being mean. It's about creating the right type of emotional investment that serves wrestling's broader storytelling goals. The best heels make you forget you're watching a show. They tap into real emotions, genuine frustrations, and authentic reactions that transcend entertainment. Whether it's corporate authority abusing power, childhood heroes becoming villains, or monsters threatening to destroy everything you love, great heels make you care. They remind us why we fell in love with wrestling in the first place. The emotional investment in seeing good triumph over evil. Which heel from this ranking do you think belongs one level higher or lower? Drop your thoughts in the comments, smash that like button, and subscribe for more wrestling breakdowns that'll change how you watch WWE forever. Because in wrestling, as in life, the best villains are the ones who make you question everything you thought you knew.